If you had to describe the season in one word, what would it be?
In one word, you Barbara Walters? Why? What's the point of that? Yeah, no, you got it. It's just strange, that's all. Okay, I got you. Epic.
I mean, do you feel like you're the guy who's handing the baton off? You know what I mean? You sort of outline those terms.
I mean, look, this is. I got a question earlier about whose team this is, and I don't get into the, well, we share. No, it's my team, right? But I want to make sure that Dwight, when I retire, this is going to be his, and I want to teach him everything I possibly know, so that when I step away, this organization can ride on as if I never left.
It has been an extraordinary run by Kobe.
What did you learn about yourself during the streak?
That I could lead. Since I've been in LA, I've always been in a position where I defer to Shaquille. And for me, it was the unknown of whether or not I could step to the forefront and put a team on my shoulders. That's something that was a mystery to me. I think it was a mystery to Phil and a mystery to my teammates. But that was a point in time in the season where Phil felt like we needed an adjustment. He came to me with that challenge, and I was able to respond and deliver some big moments for us. So I call it a special ops mission, where Phil just basically told me to go into enemy territory, gather the intelligence, and then come home. So that's all I tried to do. And now it's back to going, playing the style of basketball that we normally play, which is getting the ball inside of Shaquille and then going from there.
Do you need to lead this team to a championship to finally get that respect?
I believe so, yeah. And I'm not afraid to say it. Something that I want to do personally, because I want to get to that next level. I want to win a championship, and I want to see the city of LA rejoice and have another parade, especially now because nobody expected us to kind of be in this situation to be able to contend for another championship and to get to that top level after seeing the bottom for 3 years would be very special.
And I would think it's really tough to go from the very top and then the bottom looking up.
That's very tough. I mean, it's hard to go from the bottom to the top, but it's even harder, when you're already at the top, to go to the bottom and then look back up at that mountain again, knowing that you just climbed it and all the struggles and the hard work that you had to go through to look at it and say, man, I gotta climb that thing again. It takes a lot out of you, but it must be done. Well, I mean, it's one of the questions that I had upstairs was when you reach that point where you feel like your life is just kind of stalled out, and and you're here in a situation, where do you pull that determination from to then say, you know what, I mean, I am going to make something out of myself. No matter what happened to me, the deck stacked against me, I have nowhere else to go. I'm here in the streets, but I still have the determination, to get to where I need to go. And for everybody, it's different. And some of them pull from personal experience of people constantly telling them what they can't do. Others pull from, one guy in particular, pull some determination from watching me perform and how I work. But for everybody, it's different. And so, but that was one of the questions that I had, because I wanted to know. I mean, because it's, what I do in the game of basketball is easy compared to what they have to go through. You know what I mean? What they have to go through, that's real determination to be able to have that fight to say, you know what, I'm still going to make it.
How much time did it take to actually make the film?
2 days, probably.
Oh, really?
2 days, yeah.
Okay. And getting Kanye West and Bruce Willis involved, what are their roles in the film? I mean, those are two.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. Bruce obviously has a significant role, as does Kanye, but I don't want to ruin the plot.
Yeah. So is this something that people are going to be able to go see in theaters, or is this going to come like on a DVD with some sneakers, or how are people going to actually get to see this? Because you're making a movie, but how are people going to get to see it?
Just turn on TV.
That's it? The whole thing?
Just turn on TV. Teaching the game to some of our young players, teaching the game some of the nuances of the intricacies of the triangle offense to Devin George and to Kareem Rush and Gennaro Pargo. Just teaching them some of the rhythms in the triangle. I think that's been the main difference.
Do you feel like a veteran? I mean, do you feel like one of the old guys in the league?
No, I'm not walking around limping every day and having to take anti-inflammatories every day. I'm not at that stage yet. I still tease some of our veterans because they're there now. And they're saying, if you think these 7 years went by fast, wait till the next 7. And then you're going to have some young rookie on your team telling you how old you look.
Have you thought about the summer of 2010 at all?
Yeah, I've thought about it a little bit, and the guys and I, we've had these conversations before. I've the only difference is, I'm 31, so it's I would love to play. Obviously, I mean, so when that time comes at the end of the season, I'll be able to estimate where my body is, and I tell you, man, we had so much fun playing. I don't think there's one guy that doesn't want to. It's not like it's a thing where it's, oh man, I got to play for the Olympic team. I mean, it's fun.
Right.
So we all enjoy doing it.
And Jerry's a tough guy to say no to, right?
Yeah, it was like a family, really. I mean, it really was. I mean, the atmosphere was so outgoing. It was so comfortable and smooth. They made it fun to be a part of. Yeah, we have a lot of weapons, offensive weapons and defensive weapons. So we have a lot at our disposal. The key for us is to make sure that we're all clicking together at the same time, and that's why we come out. We work hard every day. We communicate with one another throughout practice, just to kind of fine-tune things and tweak things and go from there. It's a lifestyle, really, and an understanding that every day you're trying to get better, right? You get better today. You try to be better today than you were yesterday, right? And so the test that I always did ever since I was a kid, and I tell my kids to do now, is at the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you going to be? And that's basketball, that's whether it's football, that doesn't matter. Are you getting better every single day? That's the question, right? And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year. Right? It's the process of getting better every day and doing that for a period of years that then create the masterpiece. Mamba mentality isn't a thing where you're intense all the time or you're playing with this kind of aggression. It really depends on you as a person. And the question is, did you get better today at whatever it is? Did you get better today? And so I do see that in a lot of the young players that we have in the league today, and I think the league is in really good hands where the future is going. And I'm excited to see it.
Determination, I think, is the most important thing. You have to be determined. I mean, you have such a long career. Fortunately, you have a long career. You're going to have games and moments where it doesn't feel like you're quite making it. I certainly had those moments when I first came to the NBA at 17. But you have to have determination, perseverance to continue to work, continue to believe, and get to where you want to go.
It's always about getting better. For example, I try to set goals depending on what's coming up next. So, we had the Olympic team, USA team. My goal is just focusing on defense because that's what I needed to do for the team to be successful, to help the team be successful, and that's what I focus on. So every year, it's about finding something else to get better at, to improve it, to help your team win.
I've had great role models growing up myself, and I understand the kind of impact that it can have on a young man's or a young woman's life. And it's very important to try to provide some type of guidance in a positive manner. Basketball is such a small part of our lives and what we do. I mean, there's a bigger part to it, which is trying to influence others in a positive way.
You have come so far in 1 year. That's because you worked so hard in the summer?
I definitely did. I was a student of the game. I tried to understand things that I wasn't doing very well last season and try to add them into my game. And it's difficult because you have to break habits. So that was the hardest adjustment.
And that one, I love that one, don't you?
Yeah, well, Kevin gave me an excellent pass.
He sure did.
He actually knows where I like it. So.
He told you he was going to give it to you.
Oh, yeah, he told me before the game, he said, I'm going to help you loosen up a little bit, throw you a couple lobs.
Let's go back to the first play. We don't want to see it again, but you dribble behind your back, ball comes around your body, you get it with his hand, dribble some more, and then make a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook.
Yeah, a nice little running hook.
Yeah.
I threw one in the first half. I made it, but it didn't count. And, I kind of looked at Magic and said, that one's for you, baby.
Did you have any fun?
Oh, I was having fun. That's what the whole game was about, really, just going out and enjoying the company of the other players and trying to win the ball game. Unfortunately, we got smoked.
What would you recommend? Is jumping to the NBA a good thing, a thing that someone should do, or is it something that really you have to be almost uniquely qualified in a special way to do?
In some regards, there's a gray area as far as whether it's good or bad. It depends from what perspective you're looking at it. For me, it was a dream. So in my mind, it was all good. But in other people's mind, kids, they say, well, a lot of kids don't have the opportunity to go to college. You should relish that chance to go ahead and get your education.
So in their minds, it's not a good thing to do. But, you know, for kids out there now, if that's your dream, go ahead and follow your dream. I don't see anything wrong with that.
You had the grades, you had the scores to go to college. Why the NBA?
It's the ultimate challenge. You know, if I was 40 years old and I'm sitting back and I'm looking back at my career, if I went to college and played on the NBA, maybe I had a great career, maybe not, and I'm still having that doubt in my mind, could I have answered that challenge? Could I have responded to the challenge of the NBA? And that's something that I didn't want to have on my shoulders, so I just really accepted it.
Well, it was challenging. That's something that I always look forward to doing since I was a youngster growing up. And after I made the jump and I was playing against professional basketball players in the summertime or when training camp came around, I was really looking forward to it. Guys were calling isolation plays and go at me one-on-one and talking a lot of trash to me during the preseason, but that's something that I really look forward to. That's one of the main reasons why I made the jump.
And then you kind of chill there for a second, then your boy Ron Artest is now coming in, so news keeps on coming in, good news.
Yeah, we got Ron. He's doing good. He's acclimating himself to LA. He's been out here for a while already, so he's just looking for a spot right now.
He was really looking forward to playing with the Lakers, and now he's there. I mean, you guys can actually get better, which is saying a lot.
Yeah, no, we're doing a good job. We still have one more piece out there that we need to add. It's Lamar Odom. We got to try to bring him back. And, we do that, and we're in really good shape.
Ready for another side of trip? Well, again, thank you all for coming. It's obviously it's a tremendous honor for me to have this camp again. And I see so many faces already. And you guys know what the camp's about. You guys have been here a few years now. And you know how we do things. And for the mic to work. Looking forward to everybody learning new things and getting better as basketball players. And also for the parents, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you all for coming down. I hope you guys get a chance to enjoy Santa Barbara a little bit. And I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of now 5-time world champ.
What will you do after you retire? That's not going to be a while.
Well, I still got a ways to go. We still got some things that we need to do.
There we go. You're showing up here a lot. You step in, you demonstrate, you ever get that itch like, man, I might want to do this after I'm done coach.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm coaching. Not coaching, but things like this, I'm around kids and showing them things and passing on some of the knowledge that I've gained throughout the years. That's something I'll definitely continue to show.
So just start with the name. It's Kobe AD as opposed to Kobe 12. Why is that?
Well, because Kobe, a basketball player, had retired, so it didn't make sense for me to progress from 11 to the 12 to the 13. That player is done. So now we must move on. So how can we do that? How can we embody the spirit of a player who, in essence, has retired or has passed away from the game? How can we embody the spirit of the line, right? And so going to AD, I felt was the best way to do that.
You talk to us about what makes the Manila fan stand out.
Well, I think our relationship is a very passionate one, and it's to allow somebody into your heart to inspire you. It's a very personal thing, and from the first moment I came out here to see the expression on the kids' faces and how much they loved the game, how much they were open to hearing what I had to say and teach about the game, inspired me as much as it inspired them. And so that relationship is a very special one. If you think about people that inspire you to get up in the morning and work hard, that's something that moves you, and that's something that never leaves you.
A lot of people here in the Philippines, they love playing basketball, but they don't have the resources to go to the States and join your camps over there. Is there any chance that you can bring that over here to the Philippines?
I have a basketball camp here.
meet Kobe Bryant on a basketball camp in the Philippines?
I don't see why not. We'll try. We'll try. Yeah. I don't see why not.
Kobe, people want him by next week already, man.
I don't know if we can do it that fast.
My question is, this is regarding your father being the head coach of sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering how your reaction to that, and how important is having a role model to you?
Well, I'm excited for him. You know, he's really a great coach. You know, I'm not just saying that because he's my father. He's a brilliant mind. He taught me a lot about the game when I was growing up, and you know, he has a knack for coaching. I mean, he's really, really good at it. I'm sure he'll do great. And in terms of having a role model, I mean, that's a big influence on me when I was growing up, having my father there, and also other role models, people that I looked up to, Michael Jordan or down. They're really inspiring. So it's very important to have those.
I just want to say thank you for coming out and support. I think my relationship with Lenovo is all about inspiring you guys, as you guys inspire us to do and accomplish anything that you can dream of. If you got dreams, go after them. That's what my relationship with Lenovo represents. Continue to challenge what's normal and have a great time. That's what we're going to do next year.
When I got back to Philadelphia, I was getting worn out because players were so much better than I was. So it was a matter of adjusting and learning the game.
When you were getting worn out and you'd go home, where'd you get the resolve to go back the next day and say, wait a minute, I'm going to get better?
All I wanted to do was improve, and my focus was on basketball, and that's all that mattered to me.
So you showed up every day to take the whooping until you could start giving whooping.
Oh, I did something out too, man. You weren't going to just blow me out without getting an elbow or something. You were going to catch something until I was able to overcome that hill.
Let's go. 10 seconds of the shot. The man himself, Mr. Kobe Bryant, awarding.
I think the magic in life is finding what it is that you love. That's the key. Like when you find that thing that you love, then life makes sense. You wake up in the morning and life makes sense. And for me, it was basketball. So whenever I went through a hard time, the good times, bad times, I always went to the game. That was always my escape. That was always my form of self-expression, communication, how to deal with frustration. It was always through the game. And you know, my advice to every player out there, or anybody, whether writer, musician, whatever the case may be, when you have that passion, everything gets funneled through there. And it's just a beautiful feeling when you have that. We have mutual respect for one another. We all respect everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and we know everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and we're able to mesh them together within the system. And defensively, we're getting it done. That's a major part.
That's the biggest part. Defense is no fun in the NBA. Nobody plays it, but you all are.
We have fun doing it.
How can it be fun? Because that's something a coach has to sell.
Not necessarily. Certain players, yes, maybe. To us, not really, because we enjoy holding people down.
Basketball player, we have to get you on the Mambas. You got it, man. Very welcome. Okay. Going this way. We're going this way. What's up, big time? Big time. What's going on, man? How you doing? I heard in a few weeks I'll be able to. Yes, what's up? Yeah, man. What's going on? Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, man. Everything normal? Shoot my shot, ask you. No. Okay. Nice shot, nice shot. What's up, man?
Thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, man. I see y'all.
Kobe.
Appreciate it.
Kobe.
What's up, man? How are you? Long time. How are you? Doing good? All right, man. All right, guys. You got it. Thank you.
Kobe, Happy New Year.
What can I say? What can I say about Shaquille O'Neal? The Diesel. You know, from his career starting in Orlando, and you know, I'm happy that thing went bad. You know, I'm happy they lost to Houston, because then he came out here and joined the Lake Show and put us on his back, carried us all the way to a championship. He's the most powerful human being I've ever played with, I've ever seen play. You have to, what you guys have to understand is, you know, I'm a fan just like everybody else. And when I play with Shaquille, and I give him one of those passes, and he goes up for a dunk, I don't think you guys understand how hard he dunks the ball. I mean, he dunks with so much force. And Mutombo, he's a strong guy. You know, he's big. He's a healthy guy. And Diesel was just absolutely abusing him.
What advice do you have for some of the teammates sitting beside you that are about to embark on their first journey to the Summer Games?
Well, I think we all understand the attention to detail that's going to be required for us to beat some of these teams. I mean, it's, you know, in the NBA, when we play against each other, we do a great amount of preparation for each game. But, you know, against these teams that we're going to face, we have to do that even more because we don't know most of the guys. And most of the guys, when they play in their respective countries for their respective teams, are outstanding players and great players. So we're really going to have to do a lot of homework and kind of studying these guys, getting to know their tendencies, and, you know, go out there and do what we do best.
Kobe, it's just going to be him. Do you mind carrying him?
Come here, dog. Come over here. Come here. What's your name?
Andre.
Andre. What's up, Andre? There you go.
The Lakers went directly from the airport to the team hotel in Beijing's financial district. There they had a quick meal and then got right to bed in preparation of the following day's trip to the Great Wall in the first practice in China.
Cuba's been able to mix, go hand in hand right with my philosophies and the style of play, and obviously the generosity in creating a Black Mamba watch is it's fun. I mean, I never ever dreamed about having this opportunity of doing this with watches. I always grew up just thinking it was going to be, sportswear and shoes and sneakers, things like that. And so it's truly an honor to be able to do something like this in the fashion realm with a very successful watch company. So.
Kobe, how surprised are you guys were up 21 and you lost like you did that one?
Shocked.
How disappointing is it?
Very. I'll keep it to one word.
It's the second night in a row to be out-rebounded. The Wizards had 17 offensive boards that led to 17 points. Were you surprised at that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I was.
What do you think it'll take to change that?
Just more effort.
Kobe, my question, some of your shot selections tonight, what do you make? I mean, do you have any issue with that, or are you just not making them, or what?
Do you think the effort's a mindset? Not necessarily for you, but collectively as a team?
Are these problems fixable, you think? Sure. Absolutely.
Your coach alluded to turnovers, flow, and movement. Anything stand out of those?
All the above.
Thoughts on Nick Young's performance?
Fantastic.
When the Wizards were running that double at you more in the second half, what could you guys have done differently to counter that?
Shots.
Kobe, you talked about lack of making shots. You talked about lack of effort as a team. Was there anything else out there tonight? I mean, the first half was totally different than the second half.
This is the most Belichick you've ever been in your career. I know you pride yourself on it.
When you say that the less you say, the more you want, it means the more you actually do want to say. Is that about right?
No. Actually, decision-making that goes into that, putting together the roster, hiring the right personnel in the front office that can make key decisions. We don't understand all of that. Once I became a pro, and I came to this organization, I remember Dr. Jerry West telling me, he said, I want you to be a Laker for life. And at the time, 17, stubborn, think I know it all kid. And the trust that he had in me to deliver for this franchise and all the history that this franchise had made me want to go the extra mile for him, made me want to believe in him. And Mr. Phil Jackson talked about the summer of '08, where I was demanding the trade. But the biggest summer to me was the summer when we were looking for a head coach. And now, keep in mind, I'm not the most patient individual in the world. And he sits me down and he says, what do you think about bringing Phil Jackson back to coach you again? I don't really know how I feel about that, Dr. B. And he just looked at me and he just said, trust me. And I did. And that has taken us to a whole nother level and winning another 2 championships.
Well, I love it here. I've been a Laker fan since I was 6. We won here. I enjoy the fans here. I enjoy putting on that purple and gold uniform. So, I'm optimistic that I will be here.
The inspiration has run dry.
A while back, I challenged Kobe to a friendly wager. If he drilled a half-court shot using only his left hand, his offhand, I'd do 200 push-ups. Look what happened.
60, 61, personal trainer. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Come on now. Hey, you gotta suck it up.
Need a break? Yeah, suck it up.
71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 7. Come on, 78, 79. 80.
To help his fans get a better idea of what's he all about, Kobe has set up a brand new website.
Go to kb24.com, you get the answers there.
Being a uniter, not a divider, is important to Kobe. That's why this past summer he launched the Vivo Foundation, bringing together young adults from the African American and Latino communities, sending them on an all-expense-paid tour to Europe.
Well, that's what you have to do. You got to give them alternatives, right? I mean, you got to open up those doors. You got to show them that there's more to, to just being in Crenshaw, being in Compton, being in East LA. There's more to that.
Tell the story when you first got your USA uniform.
Well, I had goosebumps, and I actually just looked at it for a while. I just held it there, and I laid it across my bed, and I just stared at it for a few minutes, just because it's, as a kid growing up, this is the ultimate in basketball.
Where does the patriotism come from inside of you? Historically, what is it?
Well, it's just, our country is, we believe is the greatest country in the world, and it's given us so many great opportunities, and it's just a sense of pride that you have, as you say, you know what, our country's the best.
Is that a cool thing to say in this day and age, that you love your country and that you're fighting for the red, white, and blue, and it seems like sort of a day gone by?
No, it's a cool thing for me to say. I feel great about it, and I'm not ashamed to say it. This is a tremendous honor.
The China tour is wrapped up. I had a great time, obviously starting in G9 and then Wuhan and now here in Guangzhou. So the players are incredible. The energy's been incredible. And I got to say, the players have really improved from last year to this year. I see a lot of improvement. But I had a great time. The fans have been sensational, like always, and welcomed me here with open arms and a lot of love. And thank you so much. And I'll see you next summer. And hopefully I'll be back here with another championship for you guys. So, till then, Mamba out.
This weekend we got Valentine's Day coming up. What you got planned for that?
No, I'm just laid back at home with my mother and my two sisters. They're my love of my life right now.
The love of your life,
Yeah.
huh? Good. Nothing planned with your date or anything like that?
Nah, I'll probably take my mother out to eat. She's very special to me. I really haven't had the chance to spend that much time with her because of my schedule and things like that. So, I think that's gonna be her day. You have to love your parents. You have to treat them with respect. I think that's something that we're lacking. I think every kid in America loves their parents, but they don't show them the respect that they deserve. I think it's important for them to do that and listen to them because they're gonna guide you right. So
you want kids yourself?
Excuse me?
You want kids yourself?
Nah. I mean, I'm a kid myself.
Yeah, you are.
I'm 19 years old. So.
Which basketball player were you most inspired by?
Magic was by far the ultimate. My father, of course, was my role model, but Magic was the player that I really kind of stepped back and looked at and was like, wow. What's up, everybody? What's going on? This is Kobe Bryant, and I'm shooting hoops at the beautiful Sky Park at Marina Bay Sands.
So how do you rate your success so far?
I don't rate it. No, I mean, rate it for what? You know what I mean? Because I'm not done. So to me, it's you rate it when your career is over and it's finished. But until that time, I don't have time to do that because I'm thinking about the next thing. You know what I mean? Everything is past. It's over. You know, I'm excited about the championship that we won, but now I'm getting ready for the next season. You know, so I don't have time to rate it. Just keep on moving forward. So when I'm doing the drill, what I see is you guys are making a move here, right? If I do that against a defensive player, make a move here, it's a turnover, right? So you want to start the move a little further away, right? So if I'm coming at the cone, I'm going to make my move here. So if the defensive player, I'll make a move, and now he cuts me back off, I can still change directions. Right? So when you go through the drill, don't go through the drill on top of the cone. Do it further away. So you go here. And use your feet. Use your feet. Like you guys see the dancers? The dancers came out here and dancing, right? You saw them dancing. I'm serious. I'm serious. You see the footwork. Fakes are all footwork. Don't think about moving the ball. So you come in here, don't think about doing that. Think about using your feet. So you come in here, doing that, you're doing that, right? You gotta use your footwork. That's why your fakes are, not with the ball. Okay? Let's do the drill again. Let's do it again.
Okay. All I want to say, I usually get every single shoes that Kobe gets. I get here opening day, I do not have no new shoes. Look at these shoes. Ça va, ça va? Hold on. Don't move. Okay.
Oh, what you going? Oh, see?
So that's the brand new kicks. And that's the older version right there. That's messed up, right?
They gotta make the Olympics first.
Oh, wow. Wow.
We're hearing reports that you've cleaned out your locker. What's going on?
I ain't cleared my locker.
No? Mm-mm. You guys had meetings at all with Jim Buss today and Rob, your agent?
No.
Fans out there wondering, what's your status with the Lakers? Have you played your final game as a Laker? Will you be a Laker when the season starts?
No, I don't know. Either, talk to Mitch and Mr. Buss about that, man. I don't know. I'm just getting ready.
Would you still like to be a Laker?
Yeah, if I'm here, I'm ready to strap it up.
So the ball's in the front office court?
Yeah, it's not, my job is to play the game and to get ready to play the game. That's what I'm doing.
I've been in LA now 15 years, and it went by so fast. And I can remember like it was yesterday, being 17 years old and coming to LA, and not knowing anything about freeway and 405 and 101, not having any idea where the heck I was going. But still, I feel like I've grown up with this city, and we've had a lot of ups and downs. But here we are with 5 championships, plenty more to go. And I just feel extremely honored to be able to do this. I mean, it's never something I ever actually thought about. You see it in movies all the time, you see the hands, you see the footprints and all that stuff, and I never thought in my wildest dreams that my hands and my footprint would be sitting there next to like Robert Downey Jr. or some of the great actors. Thank you very much. It's an honor. I love being in LA. I love the Lakers. And more championships to go. The moves that they make, they just seem to come out of nowhere. Steve Nash just kind of came out of nowhere. The Pau Gasol thing just kind of came out of nowhere. And, it's just kind of been our MO. I mean, you think about the 3P run that we had with myself and Shaq, and how quickly we rebuilt that. I mean, a couple of years, and all of a sudden we're back at the NBA Finals. And it takes a lot of patience and smart decision making on management's part. Steve has that same attitude, that same mentality, and we're gonna have to be dealt with next year because he knows how competitive I am, and obviously the history that we've had. But I said our bond coming in the league together in '96, especially he and I, because we weren't necessarily highly regarded coming into that draft. So that bond is much bigger than the rivalry that we had in Phoenix.
Is it possible at all that you're going to get better shots because of?
No question. Yeah, no question. I mean, the thing is, like I said, it puts me in my natural position, which is that of a shooting guard and that of a finisher. I mean,
Michael had Scotty, which was a great facilitator for him and enabled Michael to do what he does best, which is score the ball and pass the ball in double teams and so forth. And, it puts me in my natural spot.
Well, we have to elevate our play. I mean, our defense has been consistent, but the competition has been much better from game to game. So, we have to be able to elevate our energy because we do have different gears that we can go to. And yesterday, Argentina forced us to find another gear, and which we were able to do.
I'm very upset, but like I said, I mean, I've been through tough situations before in the past, and I'd always blow my top and just go crazy. And then I had a head coach who just kind of always kept calm and always just focused on the X's and O's of things, and I learned from that. And I'm trying to do the same thing here. But I won't lie, man. They're really they're really trying my patience with that Zen thing.
Coach, you mentioned that in your career, this is the most frustrating times you had. This is like worse than 05, worse than when you lost in the finals. That level of frustration.
Well, nothing's worse than losing. Well, this is might be because we have the personnel and the talent to do it, and why we're not doing it is pretty baffling.
Only time I've been nervous for a game is '98, my first All-Star game, because obviously I was 18 years old, and I'm looking around the locker room, and I'm looking at Stockton and Barkley coming out on the court, Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, and Gary Payton, Penny Hardaway. I mean, it's just the list of legends just went on and on and on. So that was the first time I ever got a little nervous. And but outside of that, man, it's basketball. Man. You just go out there and do what you do. So, here we go, fellas. No nerves.
You said that you called MJ, if I remember correctly, that he's somebody that knew. What did you say to him when you called him? What did he say to you?
Well, I mean, the question for me was, how did you know? How did you know this was going to be it for you? And it was the same thing with him. You just you feel it. And it's not something that you can really think through intellectually. There's certain things, of course, but if you feel like playing, nothing that you can reason makes sense. You're going to play regardless. And I'm not at that place anymore.
Allen Iverson sent you a text before the game. It was relayed to you. Allen Iverson had some beautiful words. They said there would never be another Kobe Bryant. What did that mean to you?
It meant everything to me. The response that the respect from the peers is what I think we all play for. And so to have comments like that means the world to me. And he was the most competitive player I ever faced. I mean, he was tenacious. And so he brought the best out of me just as I brought the best out of him.
That I would recommend would be all 4 titles in Jason Reynolds' track series, Ghost, Patina, Sonny, and Lou. That would be my recommendation. I'm recommending the book because the book is about dealing with challenges and the adversity that comes with that, and about digging deep and fighting through those challenges and fighting through those obstacles. And it actually came to me recommended by my 12-year-old daughter at the time, Gianna, who's now 13. She read the book, absolutely loved it, and came home ranting and raving about it and saying, "Dad, you should definitely read this book." The book is about a group of middle school kids that are track and field athletes. And it's about the challenges that they face, not just on the track while competing, but also off the track. So my upbringing in Italy was great. I mean, we moved over there when I was 6 years old. It was great. I mean, I started first grade in an Italian school. I still have a great amount of friends that are still over there in Italy that I keep in contact with.
And that was my first home, you know. So growing up over there was a great experience for me. And yeah, I mean, I loved every minute of it. It's tough for me growing up over there. I didn't really appreciate the beauty of where I was growing up. And now looking back, I can really appreciate everything that growing up overseas taught me.
NBA MVP Kobe Bryant was everyone's high school player of the year in 1996 at Lower Merion High in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. The Aces went 31-3 in Kobe's senior season, winning their first state title in over 50 years. He averaged 31 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists per game as a senior and opted not to play college ball. Kobe Bryant was the 13th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft, and he's been a perennial all-star ever since.
As you know, Fisher was traded away by the Lakers, and last night after the loss to Houston, Kobe found himself missing Fish.
I've been so used to having him sit, behind me on the bus. We sit next to each other. He sits directly behind me. And after the tough game last night, I'm sitting on the bus, and it's just habit to just turn around and talk to him about it and say what we're going to do. Okay, what we're going to do, fix the game, talk about the game, whatever. And I turn around and he ain't there, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. That's weird. But it was just habit to do that. You know what I mean? So it's just getting used to not having him around.
Will your relationship with Sasha help keep him a Laker?
She? The machine? The machine? I don't know. It's he's I don't want to say he's a grown man. he's a young adult, and I think he's he should do what's obviously best for him and his family. And I think as a big brother, that's the best advice I could give him. I would love to have him here and keep him around just for selfish reasons because of his defense and his passion and shooting. Obviously, is something that was invaluable to us this year. So for my own selfish reasons, I would love to keep him here. But as a big brother, he has to do what's best for he and his family. So.
If it got down to a couple $100,000 here or there, would you float that to him?
I'm the richest one in this building, homie. What you looking at me for? Somebody got to pay me. That is the most powerful message within this book, and understanding that true strength comes from your vulnerability. You don't hide from being vulnerable. That is your greatest source of strength, the magic that you have within you.
You know the knock on you earlier on. You're smiling at me. You won't smile after this, but a little arrogant, a little selfish.
Right.
So was that just insecurity and immaturity? And first of all, do you think there was any truth to it?
Well, I think there's probably a little truth to it. I think, in order to get to a certain level, you have to have a certain amount of selfishness to be able to drive yourself, but not to the point where it affects the balance of the group. And in my role, it was harder for me to relate to the teammates that I had. At the time I came in the NBA, I was 18 years old.
Right.
My teammates were, 30 years old, 27 years old. And, I'm talking about video games, and the conversation is just completely different. So I think for me, it helped me to be able to sit back and learn and observe and, hear what people were saying about me, listen to how my teammates communicate.
Did it hurt when you were hearing it?
It hurt, but at the same time, I looked at it as a challenge. I said, okay, well, this is what the perception is. Now, how can I become better?
I didn't think a lot of that play, tell you the truth.
My first year in the league, it was tough not having an opportunity to play because I felt like I could compete with the best of them. Man, that's the type of stuff, quite frankly, pissed me off. And it was very difficult going through that situation. At the end of the season, being in Utah and shooting air balls in a situation where I knew I could deliver and I knew I could come through for the team, and it just didn't happen. And the reason why I was able to stay sane is just say, well, God has a plan. Those shots weren't meant to be. But at the same time, I thought to myself that I'm going to be back.
All right, I'm going to start with a big one, a really good friend of both of ours, Charles Barkley.
Top 50. Top 50. And I respect him a lot. You know, I communicate with him. Just talk to him just about, you know, random stuff. So, yeah.
He said you cursed him out on his two-way. Like, you cursed him out in Italian, though. He didn't know what he was saying.
No, I didn't curse him. You know what we had, what gets lost in that is the fact that we had that relationship where I can hit him up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, it wasn't something to go on TV and talk about that. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that. But I was just talking with him.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of relationship we have. I mean, we exchange numbers and we have an open line of communication. So.
It wasn't a matter of me saying, okay, I want to get that college scholarship or I want to be in the NBA. I mean, being in the NBA was a dream, absolutely. It was something that I wanted at the end of the road, no question. But what I enjoyed is playing, just the day-to-day things. Like, it's like, you know, for 1 week, I said, okay, by the end of the week, I'm going to be really comfortable with my left hand. Now, this is my challenge of this week. You know, next week may be I want to be able to run a faster mile. Right? And so, like, each week it was a new challenge, and then each new challenge led up to the grander vision. And so that's how balance is obtained, is by simply living each day as if it was your last and trying to be better that day than you were the day before.
The most important part when you're performing is to have absence of emotion, right? So, like, you have all of these feelings, the doubt, the anger, the joy, all those things you're feeling throughout the course of a game, from moment to moment, even by any one of those emotions, good or bad. You just are. And when you can have that absence, and that's when you have an 81-point game, 63-point game, and that's when you feel like you're in the zone, because you're just here and now. So you have to understand those emotions to be able to accept them and then let them go.
5 NBA championships, 18 All-Star, MVP, gold medals, 81-point game, and a 60 final point game, okay? You've even won, I was about to say that, okay? You've even won an Oscar in deer basketball, all right? Which one of your dreams was the craziest when it first came to mind?
Well, I can't say an Oscar because I never dreamed of doing that. Never dreamed of doing that. You know, winning championships and playing for Los Angeles was the craziest dream. I mean, I was growing up in Italy, so that's the furthest you can get from the NBA. You know what I mean? At that time, especially. And my favorite team's always been Los Angeles. Like, I know the history going back to Minneapolis and Pollard and Mikan and all of these guys. And so for me to grow up to play for this organization that I've always wanted to play with, and I bleed purple and gold, man, that's real. That's real. That's real. So that's the craziest dream to me, because I always dreamed of following Magic's footsteps, coming to Los Angeles, playing for the Lakers, winning multiple championships, and here the hell we are. It's crazy.
Kobe, considering the difficulties you guys have had in Portland in the last couple of years, is it sweeter? I mean, is it something you know?
No, because we always beat them here. We just can't win up there.
Do you think
it's always been the case?
If you guys were to somehow meet in the playoffs, do you feel like the team that had home court would have the advantage there? I mean, like, and more so than no.
So Emily says, because you were such a great artist on the court, was it easy to transition into this new form of art to express yourself?
I wouldn't say it was easy. I mean, it was easy in the sense of creating, because I've been writing and creating since like 15.
You're a good writer.
Thank you. Been doing it for a while. My English teacher would happy to hear you say that. She would be really happy to hear you say that. And so it hasn't been easy, because you got to build from the ground up. Because there's certain things like the design of the book, like certain things that we want to do, that I want to do, that are very detail oriented, that if you're part of a publishing house, you don't get a chance to do. Mm-hmm. So that means we have to build our own publishing house, and so we can do the things creatively that I feel are very, very important.
Sorry. Here we go.
Thank you so much. Great game. So we can finish up.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get you, bro.
You're welcome. You were about to stand against the wall.
You gave her a lot of credit.
What is it about you coming to New York and always going to work?
No, it's fun. I love playing here.
Really? It looks like
it's a historical building. So
it looked that you really made it easy out there, man. Like, it's the energy.
It's a jump shot. The jump shots fall and the game is easy.
Can we ever see you playing for the Knicks?
No.
You say you love it playing out here.
That ship has sailed.
Listen, you got New York going crazy. There's a line of people outside waiting for you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm on my way there now. So
that's what's up, man. Kobe,
nice.
I'm going to see you at the All-Star, man.
For sure.
My brother.
When did you think maybe that you would like to be a basketball player?
Since I was really, really young.
3, 4, 5, 6?
About 3.
Really?
Yeah, my mother used to tell me stories that my father used to play basketball on TV. I used to put on my jersey, I had my shorts on, and when he would play, I would play too. I have a little hoop, in the living room. I play, then they take a timeout, then I take a timeout, sit down, have some water, wipe the sweat off. Then they start playing, then I play again. And I'm 3 years old, and I would do this for the entire game. Then the game is over, and I'll take a shower, it feels like I'm part of the game.
Talk to us about the dimension that Michael Red adds to this thing.
Oh, he's a knockdown shooter. He's a sniper. You leave him open for a split second and it's down. As well as Mike Miller. Kobe, what about Brazil tomorrow? Looking forward to that game. It's going to be a tough game for us. They play extremely well, and we have to be ready. We'll go home now, do our homework, and come back tomorrow ready to go.
When you talk about pulling your ways, this team have a killer instinct. Is there almost a sort of meanness about what you want to do out there?
Yeah, we have a sense of purpose. We know what we want to do. We know what we're trying to accomplish. And that's why you kind of see us not letting up. Every unit that comes in there, we keep our foot in the gas.
But I'll tell you one thing, Kobe, there's an example of you jamming right here, flying through the sky. I mean, really a tremendous talent. Who do you pattern your game after?
Well, I just try to play the overall game and try to be a well-rounded basketball player who can handle the ball, who can pass the ball, and who can shoot the ball. I want to be a multi-skilled basketball player.
And we have to ask you this question. Rumors are flying all over that you're the one player here who's thinking seriously of making the transition right from the high school ranks to the professional ranks. How serious is that part of your decision?
Well, it's definitely a possibility. I think I'd be foolish not to look into that. I'm honored that people think that I'm able to make the jump. So obviously I'm going to take a look into it and see what my options are. So it's a possibility.
What other options when you talk about college? If college is your choice, what schools are you narrowed it down to?
Well, I narrowed it down to about 5. I have LaSalle, Duke, Michigan, North Carolina, and Villanova.
What do you think about women's basketball and kind of where it's heading right now?
I think it's heading in the right direction. I mean, you have some great players. You have global players as well. Lauren Jackson has done wonders for the sport in Australia. And, Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, and these players that are coming up. I mean, they're just doing a fantastic job elevating the awareness of the sport.
What do you think about Simone Augustus?
Simone Augustus can hoop too. I mean, she's a scorer deluxe. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Carmelo actually, the way that she plays. But yeah, I mean, it's players like that just continue to elevate the game. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, mid-range game is tough to get. Like I said, on this team, you probably have me and Carmelo pretty much have that mid-range down pat. So I mean, that's a rare feature to have. This moment right here, kind of walking off the court for the last time, and surrounded by a bunch of fans that have literally seen me grow up from the age of 17, and I was just, at this point, very excited that I was able to give them one final show. At the start of the game, it was like it was just going to be a catastrophe. And, walking the game, leaving the game for the last time, I was just so overcome with joy and very thankful for everything that the organization has done for me and what the fans have done for me and how they've inspired me throughout the years. And, just being happy to kind of give the Golden Armor the proper send-off it deserves. So, yeah, this was awesome. Cercare le mie carte di Panini, devi cercare per questo. Il mio logo di kb24.com. Questo ti dice se è una carta vera o una carta falsa, ok? Questo qua. Grazie. Ciao.
Hey, Kobe. I get your jersey out from over. I need it. Oh, was that Kobe?
That's Mamba 101 right there. Pull it up, go to the penthouse.
Right, that's real quick.
What's up, everyone? What's going on? This is Kobe Bryant. Now, most of you know me as a former professional basketball player, but I would like for you to join me at the Orange County Children's Book Festival to learn more about what I'm doing now, which is writing fantasy novels for children. Join me on the main entertainment stage October 6th at noon. And I can fill you in more about the Wizardnard series and Legacy and the Queen. And we can talk more and more and more about what it means to inspire the next generation. See you there, October 6th.
Every time I saw my father step on the court, I got happy. I got chilled because everybody's going crazy, cheering for him. And that's how I felt about my father. And I think that I was maybe a little too young to realize how everybody looked up to my father then. But as I look back now, it's like a great thrill.
Now, he's getting his own identity as a person, and now people come up to me, hey, that's Kobe's dad. And I'm like saying, hey.
Well, you have to know what his strengths and weaknesses are. I mean, if he's a better driver, then I want him to shoot. If he's a better shooter, then I want him to drive. It depends where his strengths and weaknesses are. If he's better at going left than he is right, if he's better going right than he is left.
What if the player has goals?
Well, you have to focus on staying in front of him and making every shot a contested shot. You know, what I try to do when I play against other great players, no easy shots whatsoever. And I stay on them, I lock into them, and I don't leave them. You know, I just try to make their night a very, very difficult one. Basically, I want to be in their face. I want to know what they eat for breakfast.
Another thing that's evolved is I guess the way you deal with the press, and almost, I think this season, you had no filter. Or no governor.
For better or for worse.
It's just a couple of your quotes. I'm doing a pretty good job sitting on my lily pad and meditating through this process. Put your big boy pants on. What does he want a cookie for that? I was like, are you just letting it rip? Like, where's this coming from?
There's answers that I have in my head. Like most of the time throughout my career, I just don't say them. So like I'll be getting an interview and I'll laugh or smirk to myself. I'm thinking of these responses, but now I just have the cojones to say them because it's, you know, it's like you get to that point where you're close to the rocking chair and you just really don't care anymore. Like I'm one of those old guys that sit on the porch and just letting it rip.
Is it more enjoyable that way for you?
It is. It's fun.
LeBron put out this little Instagram or something. It was you and him on the court and like a what if, right? You saw that and heard about it. Yeah. What if?
Yeah, I got a lot of messages on that one.
Yeah, well?
No. God, no. No. You see the beard? No.
I didn't think you'd come back.
Yeah,
I just thought, did you ever go, oh man, what if I played with LeBron?
No, like
No?
I had my run, and but I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy for everything that he's doing. Looks like the Lakers have kind of turned the corner a little bit, start playing with more of a rhythm. But man, hopefully they can keep this thing rolling.
Are you going to show up at a game anytime soon?
Man, I came to one already. I'm busy coaching my daughter's team.
Oh.
I don't like missing practices. Like I'm missing a practice tonight. I'm missing a practice tonight. I don't like missing practices. I mean, you know me.
Yes.
You know me.
No, practice is your favorite thing.
Oh, yeah.
Practice
Love
your favorite thing.
Anyways, if you could talk a little bit, and you can look at him about what's special about Philly players.
What's special about Philly players? I think we play with a certain flair. I think it dates back to Earl the Pearl Monroe. In the way Philly guys play. I mean, we have a certain pizzazz about the game. All of us can handle the ball. There's not one Philly player that can't handle the ball, from guards to big guys.
What do you think might have been different if you had grown up in Chicago or New York or LA?
Well, Chicago is kind of the same, really. A lot of Chicago players can handle the basketball as well. But I don't know if I would have that flavor, that Philly flavor. It's hard to come by.
Especially if you love the game of basketball, you get a chance to play against the top basketball players every day, and I'm really enjoying it. So.
But Kobe finds himself on the bench more than on the court. Very limited playing time, only 10 minutes a game.
That's all right. I just keep working on my game every day, and when my time comes to get out there and get the big minutes, I make sure I'm ready.
Did Phil Jackson make that easier, or what was that like reuniting with him?
It was great. I mean, our relationship now is, it's beyond great. I mean, it's really great to have that relationship. It's open dialogue. We talk frequently, and about the game and strategies and playoffs and things like that. And it's just so much more relaxing when you have that type of relationship with your coach.
Yeah, and how was that different than the first time around when he left the organization, wrote the book, and we know some things were said there that were not very flattering towards you. And I think that was Kobe, that was the question, was does Kobe want Phil Jackson back as the Lakers coach?
Yeah, no, the relationship that we've always had when it came to the game was we knew, what we needed to do to get the job done, period. Now that relationship has gone beyond just the strategies and schematics of the game of basketball, but it's just a deeper respect that goes beyond our profession.
Did you ever want him to apologize? The uncoachable comment, and I think him at one point wanting you traded from the Lakers. At least that's what he said in the book.
No, I didn't need him. I didn't need an apology from him.
No.
Just him coming back to the Lakers
was enough.
Was enough. I mean, he didn't. You saw the situation that we had. The year that he stepped away from coaching. It was a difficult year. We had a coaching imbalance, players getting hurt, not making the playoffs. So he wanted to come back and help us as an organization and also help support me to get us back to a championship level. So I didn't need any apology.
Do you have to like the coach to play well for him?
No, I don't think you have to. You don't have to necessarily like the coach. Now I think it's the relationship that we had previous, to him coming back was rocky, but we still won 3 championships. Now our relationship is great, you know what I mean? So we look forward to making even more noise. The dynamics that we had with the teams in the past were different too. Shaq was the catalyst. I was kind of, I was the guy on the floor that got things accomplished.
Once in a lifetime, man. I've been watching you play since '96. Man, I'm not selling. Thanks for taking time, man. I know
I said solid.
Can you get the phone?
Let's get a picture if we can. These gentlemen here. Do you have your pen ready?
That's okay. We'll text it to you.
We'll send you money.
Care about signing that for me? I'm gonna put this in a frame. Thank you so much, man. It was nice help out you. Thanks a lot, Kobe. Appreciate it, man. Thanks again. Thanks for everything, man. Good luck the rest of the season.
Kobe Bryant, youngest All-Star ever. What are you expecting out of this weekend?
A lot of excitement. It's going to be a great time for myself. I'm very nervous, but tomorrow's game. Tonight was the 2-ball competition, and tomorrow, playing against Michael Jordan, and had another opportunity for me to kind of pick and choose and learn from him and learn the game, and just a great opportunity for me.
All of us, the fans, we want to see a great duel between you and Michael.
if he's playing, if he is healthy, are you going to give us what we want?
Well, we're going to play hard. We're going to compete. I think that's the main thing of these All-Star games. You can come in, you can just have a good time, or you can come in and compete. And I'm a very competitive person, and so is he. So we're going to come out and have some fun.
Hi, I'm Bob Carney, and we are one-on-one with Kobe Bryant. Kobe? Unbelievable game last night against the Knicks.
We ain't playing Knicks last night.
Let's take a look at the highlights. Whoa! What a move!
That was a nice move, man. That wasn't me, though.
How did you get so much air? You got up there and you just had the ball and just 360 and woo! You were on fire.
Kobe Bryant in NBA courtside. All the moves, all the action, all the NBA you can jam in a game.
Wow. Let's have a moment of silence for the defense on that one.
Everybody's saying all these great things about it. How do you remind yourself that you're Joe's son, you know, that mom is there and you got sister? You're just Kobe.
It's easy when you have to take out the garbage. You know, you have to clean up your room. You have to wash the dishes and things like that. That always keeps me grounded. I have two lovely sisters, older sisters, my mother and my father. All of them are staying with me in LA, so it's very easy for me to stay grounded. After the All-Star break, teams have kind of adjusted to my game and trying to play me different ways as far as setting up their defenses to try to shut me down. And it's been hard for me. It's been frustrating for me, and I want to learn. I study videotape, and I want to ask so many questions, but I just want to get out there and learn it by experience. And right now, I'm going nuts.
Did you ever dream that you were going to be enjoying where you are right now in 1998?
I've dreamed about it, yes. I mean, this is my dream. Last season, I had the opportunity to see my teammates go to the All-Star game, meaning Shaq and Eddie. And I wanted to be in the All-Star game too. And I really dedicated myself in the summertime to work very, very hard to get to this particular point, and the fans rewarded me. So it's a dream come true.
How hard is it for you just coming out of high school to play in the NBA?
It's not that hard. It's not that hard because basketball is basketball. I knew if I continue to work hard, continue to play the game, everything will be fine.
You have any advice that you would give a young man like Easton, who's 7 years old and wants to play in the NBA one day?
Yeah, keep your hopes up. Keep your dreams going.
You got to put it way up here.
You have to keep your dreams alive. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and what you cannot accomplish. Love your family, study hard. Everything will be all right.
No, I got Vince right here.
Mom, I need my credential back. Where are you guys?
Yeah, the All-Star game, yo. How real is that, though? You know what I mean? How real is that, yo? How real is that? Damn.
You gonna be hype.
Damn.
We here now, baby. Damn. We here now. We here now.
Damn, dog.
It's possible.
Damn.
Get him out. Jason.
Damn.
We here now, kid.
Damn.
Let's go do this. It's possible.
Because you do have money. I mean, how do you differentiate between the ones that want you and the ones that want what you can give them?
You can ask me anything, man.
Okay, I just asked you.
Well, you really can't differentiate. It's very, very difficult to tell. And what I learned throughout the years is, so what? Just roll the dice. I think God has a plan for us all. And if she's the one that's meant to be, then that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a gut feeling that I'll have. I just know that she's the one. Man, I mean, it's important because, I mean, it just keeps everything in perspective. I mean, you get to know who the real heroes are, from the doctors, down to the patients, and, just being blessed and showing our support.
How you feeling these days?
I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I'm getting in fighting for him.
Everybody brings out a special outfit or clothes or jewelry or something for All-Star Weekend. I mean, is it like that, or is it just sort of like, let's just get dressed up normally for that?
I don't know. I try to stay G'd up personally.
Yeah. But do you get the sense that the other players sort of bring their A game when it comes to the weekend?
Yeah. Well, you know what? You gotta put a little extra spice on it. Just a little bit.
How was it, Kobe? Kobe, how was it? You can't walk by me. Can't walk by me.
Talking to Oprah, man.
I know. I saw you.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
You said you didn't know what to say to her. Did you figure out something?
Now, I was a little nervous. I didn't know what to say. But I'd spoken to her on the phone before, and that made me really, really jittery. But being here was an incredible opportunity to be with all these athletes. It was great.
And all the people out in the audience?
I know. I mean, the energy when we ran out, it was incredible.
Let me ask you something. We also have an urban show. It's TV1 Access. And we're doing a thing about Africa. Have you ever been?
I've never been. It's something that we've talked about doing. My daughter she's extremely passionate about, helping kids in Africa. So, my wife and I have been talking about setting something up in her name that she can do, in terms of helping kids in Africa. That's something that she's very passionate about, but we've never been over there.
I know something that you're very passionate about too is charity work.
Yeah.
Being a superstar and being well known all around the world. You also have a Kobe Bryant Foundation.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, well, we have the Kobe Vanessa Bryant Family Foundation, and what we just try to do is just try to help youth. It's one of the things that there are obviously a couple causes that we support, constantly, consistently. After school All-Stars program. My wife's, she's a big advocate of the St. Jude's, the children's program. But we also like to have just enough money built up in the account to be able to help causes that just pop up. You know what I mean? Like, we'll sit at home, watch the news, and all of a sudden you see a tragic story. We'll help that person out. This tragedy, earthquake that just took them out. So, we try to have a lot of flexibility.
When you bring LeBron to Hollywood, you've got now LeBron, Kobe, Space Jam 2. How do we get you cameo something in Space Jam 2? Wouldn't that be iconic? Would you thought I was talking about something else?
No, listen.
Would you think I was talking about something else?
No. Space Jam is that's a great, segue there, man. I gotta be honest, man. Being in front of the camera for me was something that never excited me.
Really?
Never.
Not even an icon. I remember Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Jam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a music video, though.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm not doing films. Now, I'll direct it.
You'd be interested in that?
Well, no, I wouldn't. But that was something I would think about doing.
And this is your new project. This is Legacy and the Queen, a new book you co-wrote. Takes place as tennis players. Take place in the tennis world. Tell us about that.
That's right. So it takes place. It's a young woman named Legacy, and she is faced with a particular challenge of winning the Kingdom Championships in order to save the orphanage that she grew up in, and it's just a beautiful story of emotion. In this story here, we have what is called inner weather. So depending on what you're feeling in that moment in time can actually affect the dimensions of the court, can actually affect the air around you. Things can become darker. You can create gusts of winds. And every player kind of has their own special power, if you will, depending on the emotion within them.
Sounds a little Hunger Games-y. I like that.
Well, it's fun. It's competition. Hunger Games and films like that do center around competition, but they center around competition that's entrenched in war. And what I figure is, well, let's do something that's competition-based, but we don't have to change much because the sport inherently has those things.
You're such a fierce competitor, and the only comparisons that I make, I don't make these crazy comparisons between you and Michael, is Michael needed motivations. If he saw you during the offseason and you didn't speak to him or something, he used that somewhere down the line to be so upset and do it. But you don't do that. You're already.
I pay attention to those things. I'm aware of those things, but at its core, that's not what I need to get me going. I don't need that, but it sure does make the journey more fun.
When I first came in the league, I really didn't know what to expect. I know I had a lot to learn. I felt that I was ready, but I needed to improve a lot. And in the process, I went through a lot of ups and downs. Failed miserably a couple of times. But that comes with the territory. I had to pick myself up and go back at it and try again. Having Phil come here because he wanted to coach a talented ball club like us, and people are now going to see kind of like a metamorphosis occur, seeing us become men and grow in our knowledge of the game. And that's going to be a thrill, and I'm very excited to see that happening. My mission is to use this God-given talent that I have to the best of my ability.
Happy birthday, Stephen A., the legend. Happy birthday, youngin'. Much love, bruh.
How do you feel about the prom?
It was great.
It was great, right?
Great, yeah.
What about the after party?
It was great.
Alrighty then, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Jermaine Griffin, the number 22, Deuce, back-to-back champions. Where's it say that again, please? We won the state champion, kid. Don't you ever forget it. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. See you. What is it? 1996. 1996. See you in a little bit. Thank you very much. Here are the Aces. Word up.
Play number 1. Ask kids what they want. My advice to parents and caregivers. I think the most important thing for parents is establishing an element of fun and imagination. I think that's really key. At an early age, it's important for kids to have freedom and have flexibility to create and to imagine and for the game to be fun while teaching fundamentals of the sport. I think it's hard to find that blend, but it's extremely important. Play number 2, reintroduce free play. My advice to parents and caregivers. The advice that I have to how to reintroduce unstructured play is for parents just to back up, you know? And I think it's easier said than done, but like if you go out in the driveway with your kid or you go to the park and you're shooting hoops with them, instead of, you know, putting her under a structure and saying, okay, you gotta make this amount of shots or that amount of shots, just go out and have fun with them, right? Just be imaginative, you know, give her the ball and say, listen, you got 10 seconds left, I'll count down from 10, you know, hit a game-winning shot. Things like that, I think it's extremely important.
Number 1 for me when I was a kid growing up was just to have fun. I just had a good time playing the game of basketball. It was enjoyable to me, so I did it all the time. And then the second thing is my goal was to be an NBA player. And that was my dream. And as with any dream, there are dream killers. There are people out there that want to tell you that you can't do it, and try to discourage you from doing it, picking something that's more realistic. And you have to just continue to believe in yourself, continue to work hard and apply yourself, and you can truly, we hear this a lot, but you can truly accomplish anything you want to. But you really have to set your mind to it and go get it. There's no secret formula. Like kids ask me all the time, well, what did you do? How did you become this? I said, what basketball drills do you do? They tell me, I said, I did the same things. I just did them over and over and over and over and over and over, maybe 10 times more than the next one. Right. So here I am. Hard work and perseverance. So you know, if you have that, you can accomplish anything.
My tips for ball handling would be first and foremost, work on your ball handling. What I mean by that is to just, you know, whenever you're on the court or wherever you are at the park or whatever, you just dribble the ball, just dribble around so that it feels like it's a part of you and you don't have to think about actually dribbling the ball. The ball is an extension of your hand. A move that I like to use in particular is a crossover dribble, starting with the left hand and with the right hand. You have to work on both sides. The tip for that is you want to kind of change your rhythm and get the defender leaning one way. Once you get the defender leaning one way, then that's when you cross back over. And staying low. Staying low is a big key.
Hello, everybody. Hi. How you guys doing this morning? Doing good? You guys ready for some fun?
Kobe loved lifting spirits at the Children's Hospital, and while our cameras captured many moving moments with the kids,
What's up? What's your name? David. Pleasure to meet you.
Kobe often saw patients without any media around. Nurse Amber Chavez tells Access about one of Kobe's visits to a cancer patient in isolation she'll never forget.
I thought, oh my gosh, Jorge, he's like the sweetest kid from Mexico. I knew that Kobe spoke Spanish, so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be easy. So when I walked up to his room, you know, I knocked and I said, Jorge, look who's here to visit you. And he just looks up with like a blank stare and he's like, I don't know who that is. He's like, I don't watch basketball. So then, you know, I turn over to Kobe and he's just smiles like, because he thinks it's the funniest thing ever. Then he chimes in Spanish and says, well, what do you like to watch? And then that's where he mentions that he loves like Cristiano Ronaldo. And so then Kobe's like, oh my gosh, he's my good friend. Like, I can get you a signed jersey. Would you like that? And Jorge just like lit up.
Kobe delivered on his promise.
He was just ecstatic, so happy, grinning, just like the biggest smile ever. His presence, just even alone coming to our hospital, was so impactful, but his actions are what made it unforgettable.
Did you see Maradona play?
Of course.
And?
Of course, Maradona was sensational. See, when I grew up in Italy, I grew up right during the time where the Italian league was the best league in the world at that time. You know, you had AC Milan, you had Marco Van Basten, you had Gullit, you had Rijkaard, you had Baggio who was just coming up. You know, Paolo Maldini was still young and still coming up. And you had Maradona who was playing for Napoli. I mean, the Serie A was like top level at the time.
Perfecto, mira, yo me pongo aquí abajo. Casi igual de altos ahora, ¿eh? ¿Has estado en el Camp Nou alguna vez, imagino?
No, es mai stato acá.
Pau Gasol me manda mensajes siempre. Kobe, son a Camp Nou. Yo digo, me gustaría ver un juego a Camp Nou. ¿Verdad? ¿Mande? La final de la Champions. ¿Tú? Sí, no. Dio la final. No, lo sé. Pero 3 tiempos. Bueno, pero uno. Estamos mirando. Sí. I love Brazil. I love it. It's my first time being in Brazil, but this is it's been beautiful. I was talking with Ronaldinho about it a little early. He's got to show me, I can't. I don't, it's not there. After work, after practice. I was 6 years old when I lived there, and soccer was always the first sport. And so all my friends played, so I started playing and playing ever since. I have a favorite. It's tough for me to have a favorite. It's hard. I will say my kids' favorite is Ronaldinho. They love watching him play. Sports is such a universal language. It doesn't matter where you play, whether you're in America or in Brazil, whether you're playing basketball or playing football. It doesn't matter. You still have the passion, the enjoyment, the love, and that's why I'm here. Dude, Gigi's she's a little firecracker, man.
Does Body Armor drink to be the official drink of the Lakers? You talk to Jeannie and them?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's that's one of the things that we got to work through. Like as athletes, it's always you have the freedom to pick what footwear you wear. Right? You can choose that sort of stuff, but you can't choose what you're drinking on the sidelines. That's a problem.
Up to your last year, when we were following you around and all the injuries and stuff, you think this is something you wish you would have had even like 3 years ago that could have maybe extended it another year?
Dude, I was obsessive about every little detail, every little thing, like from footwear to what I wear to recovery. If I could feel like I gained any type of advantage whatsoever, I obsessed over that detail. So yeah, this is something I wish I would have had. Hey man, hold on. Hey, I'm in the towel.
Wait, we're talking about.
What is wrong with you?
I'm fully clothed.
It's called man clothes.
I'm fully clothed.
You got to give me my space. This is circumference here. You can't just walk up on a man in the towel and just give him a hug.
Yeah, but there's a radius here. Yeah. I know there's a radius here.
Don't break the radius.
What's the shortest?
Does he do this to you too? Does he walk up on you in a towel and give you a hug?
Yeah, but I'm in my house in bed and he comes out. I'm just like, come on.
I have a lot of love to give Kobe.
Yeah, give it someplace else, man.
This is my baby bro, Mike.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
How are you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right.
Are you a big hockey dude? You know that?
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, have you been to a game?
I haven't been yet.
You haven't been?
No, I haven't been.
You should come.
I'm down to come, man.
Yeah?
What's up?
I'll get your number. I'll give you some tickets.
Yeah.
You got it?
Well, we love basketball. We're a big basketball family, and the Sparks and what they've accomplished last year, and it's really exciting. And hopefully, I have a chance to repeat.
And what does it mean to bring your daughter? We've seen you shoot some hoops. You're pretty darn good. Why was it important to bring her here and get to see this in person?
Well, I mean, we're big basketball fans, right? And so for her to see some of her favorite players up close is pretty awesome. And Joel Lloyd is like a little sister to her, so we had an opportunity to work out with her, and for her to see kind of the private workouts and then to see how that translates to the game is equally important.
What was it like meeting with that 105-year-old fan before the game?
It was good. That's unbelievable. 105 years old, and I don't think this game did anything to relax her.
she was pretty frank about saying you guys got it.
It was awesome.
Is it nice to have that frankness coming from someone?
Yeah, it's just like the female text winner.
Bryant said he didn't think about the torn ligament in his right wrist or any pain, something he told our Mike Wilbon that he's become familiar with.
I played through a myriad of injuries, and I've been fortunate enough that most of the injuries that I've had, you really can't do any more significant damage to them the more you play. So it's all about having a high pain threshold and just trying to adjust your game accordingly. Different conditioning programs, for example. Some like to do long distance, some like to do short distance. I prefer shorter distances, shorter spurts, weight training programs, different moves, whether it's ball handling moves or a crossover move. Some guys like the crossover with kind of a long crossover move, which is one of the ones that I prefer.
or I used to prefer. Now that I'm older, I actually like to keep it more compact and tighter to me. If you keep it more compact, you're able to use your size and use your strength more to body your guys off of you a little bit. And plus, it's a little quicker. You know, when I was young, I was so long and lanky that I could use that to my advantage. You know, now I like to use my body a lot more.